you guys, welcome back and happy Thanksgiving week. So sorry I did not have a video for you last week, but I'm making up for it this week. And for the much anticipated cocktail recipes that y'all have been asking for, I figured this would be a nice mix of like fall, but holiday-esque, kind of Christmassy, but like still fall, not really. So we're gonna do an pumpkin espresso martini. I love a good espresso martini. You guys know I love my Miller Lite, but I do like to change it up. So one of my good friends actually, she just went to a restaurant that we love like 2 weeks ago, and she had a pumpkin espresso martini. I was like, that's different. And she's like, it was bomb. Can you make one? And I was like, I don't really make espresso martinis, but I'll figure it out. So she sent me a recipe. Appreciate the recommendation, but I think or thought I could do it better, and I did. So it was quite a hit. I've only made it that one time though, so I wrote down what I did. Now, this is quite simply the ingredients that we're working with. I have the espresso machine fired up, but if you guys don't have an espresso machine, we didn't for the longest time. I would just run to Starbucks and just ask them for a few shots. I'm making like 2 to 3 in this because if I'm gonna make a cocktail, I'm not having just one. So that no one likes to drink alone, right? So my madre is gonna taste test with me after. But 4 shots of espresso, because I think 1 shot's an ounce. I don't know. Throw in a little more if you want it. But that is what we're doing. I'm gonna pull it from the espresso machine, like I said. But if you don't have one, Starbucks is the option, or there is, I think, an espresso powder you can get at the grocery store. I don't know how well that works. I haven't tried it with this recipe, but then also there's the Nespresso machines or pods. They're also very cheap. I actually made this, like I said, for my neighbor, and she threatened to go buy a machine afterwards. So very good. You can do all kinds of things with an espresso machine, to be honest, but espresso martinis, pumpkin is what we're doing today. So if you don't like pumpkin, just skip that. But I am gonna pull the espresso now, and then we're just gonna throw everything together and have our cocktail. All right, my madre smell espresso. So she's in here with the Layla bug just watching me. But I pulled 2 shots at a time. So we have 4. And then I'm gonna do, let's start with the Kahlua. How much did I say Kahlua? 2 ounces? So we're gonna do 2 ounces of Kahlua. And a little extra, because why not? And then, I don't normally measure, you guys. So when I've had a couple, there ain't no telling. But we've got Bailey's now. I think I did Bailey's because we didn't have milk and I wanted like a little creaminess. So extra alcohol, I guess, was the move. It actually works though, trust me. There we go. Those are so messy to use, partially why I also don't measure, but it's okay. We're gonna do 2 ounces of vodka. I kind of do like 3. What do they call it? Like a rounded pour. Do that. And then just pumpkin. So a 1/4 cup of pumpkin is what I'm using. Typically, you'll see recipes that will probably say like a tablespoon. But like I said, I'm making 2 to 3 with this. So I'm just gonna throw that in there. And then the spices. So like I said, if you don't like pumpkin, you don't wanna make a pumpkin espresso martini, just also leave out the spices, because obviously we've got pumpkin pie spice and then allspice, just a little bit, but it wouldn't really make sense if you didn't also have the pumpkin. So the base for an espresso martini is what I just did with the 3 liquors, but we're just gonna do a 1/4 teaspoon of allspice If you don't have allspice, you could probably just do a teaspoon instead of half a teaspoon of the pumpkin pie spice. But I feel like everyone has pumpkin pie spice. So there's that. When I make this many at once, I can never shake it because it's too full. So I'm gonna dump it in another cup, kind of stir it up, and then I'll just shake it over ice, strain it, and we'll try it. All right, y'all, this is Madre Patty, but to me, she's Madre, so.
Hey.
She's never had this before, so this is exciting. But this isn't necessarily correct as far as, I don't think you're supposed to put ice in a martini glass, but I don't care. I put ice in my bourbon and whiskey, so I'm putting ice in this. But there's a little bit of that. I'm gonna try not to make a mess with this. Woo. Not terrible, not terrible. We only have one martini glass. We're not typically this bougie to have cocktails. But the whole family's beer and bourbon. But I forgot to mention one thing too. When you go to shake it, if you've ever had an espresso martini just in general, they have so much froth on it and it's almost like foam. It's just not pleasant to drink, honestly. So stir it first. I had to stir it because I filled the shaker too full and I couldn't shake it. But stir it first and then just lightly shake it, just enough to get the ice cubes rattled around in there and chill it. Then strain it. That's why I had a ton of cups going there. But there is that. The beautiful martinis. You've got to make it look pretty. I'm going to put some nutmeg on it. You want some nutmeg? Yeah. I was going to like do a little cinnamon sugar rim and things like that, but it's just kind of gross.
Yeah, too much.
Like, I'm personally not a fan. If you're presenting this to someone, maybe do like a little, will that fit? Yes. Like so, but don't really care. So cheers.
Cheers, my dear.
Is it good?
Yeah. It tastes like pumpkin.
I know. It's not, it doesn't even taste that strong. It's actually so good. I'm a fan. It's pretty good. I've only, like I said, had this once from the one time that I made it. So good. My other friend that doesn't even like coffee or espresso at all, he thought it was good. And I was like, what? This was very like exploratory for him, but he enjoyed it too. So give it a shot. Like I said, if you don't like pumpkin, it's all right. You don't have to add the pumpkin if you really don't want, but kind of defeats the purpose of this. But like I said, it's a lot of ingredients you probably already have. The vodka, I have made it with regular just Titos, but this was actually vanilla vodka. So you really can use either. If you want the little hint of vanilla and you only have regular vodka, of course use that, but just do a splash, like a 4th teaspoon of vanilla extract. I've done that as well. So endless options. You can't really mess it up. I over poured and didn't really follow my own recipe and it turned out good. So there's that. But I hope you guys enjoy it. Stay tuned for the next recipe and I will see you guys next week.